happened to the audio for this one, but apparently it was just gone. And the audio voiceover from my last video was put up on this one. I apologize. Anyway, I apologize also for this being so late. When I went to check and upload and schedule the video, it was just not where I thought it would be. But I am taking the time really quick to go ahead and record this now. And excuse me while I take my shoe off. I'm sitting here with one shoe on. Anyway. So what you are seeing is the first half of my Maddie Tumblefeather turnaround. Maddie Tumblefeather is my OC Fae. She's an Unseelie Fae. And she goes along with my fantasy OCs. So like Zell, Charlotte, Rain, Tiny, Briley, gosh, there's so many. Sweet Ben, all those OCs. And Maddie is a very interesting case. She is very expressive, but she has a hard time showing it on her face. She loves aliens and pink and girly things, quote unquote, and she loves like Rococo style architecture and Americana style fashion. And she is in a triad with Charlotte and Rain. And her backstory is kind of all over the place. And I really should write it down. I haven't yet, but I will. So she became Unseelie of her own volition. Like, she just chose to do it. Mainly because she just didn't want to deal with the hierarchy nonsense of the Fae court in her realm. So she chose to pretty much defect from the Fae court. She doesn't have any siblings, and she does not have any kind of strong connection with her family, meaning like her mom, dad, aunts, uncles, that kind of family. She talks to other Fae, but she doesn't really have any strong connections to the court itself. And that's pretty much it. Oh, she also runs a flower shop. She has like a little flower shop situation that she runs with Rain. She found that she's pretty good at finding and maintaining certain types of flowers, so she went into that as her career. I think that's it. I would like to talk about the process itself a little bit, because this was a very trial and error kind of thing for me. You've seen me use this method in previous videos, and you've probably seen me use this method a couple times now. I've been trying to guide my style towards a more rendered style so that I can potentially add these to my portfolio as concept work. I've been focusing on how my line weight affects how the character feels design wise, and I've been really focusing on trying to have a rendered painterly style and a what's the word and a more like cel shaded style for my comics. I really find that this method has helped me understand volume more than it had before. If you look at my old work, it all seems very flat. But with this method, I was able to really add that volume and that shape to certain parts of the body of the character. I also have been like really into using textured brushes for my line art lately, which has been definitely eye-opening. It takes away the ability to be like a perfectionist, which is usually my problem when it comes to line art. I want it to be too crisp, too clean, and that in and of itself has hindered what I make, in my opinion. I feel like I make better work when I'm able to just make it. I know for a fact that there are certain areas of Maddie's design, her front view and her 3/4 view, that could probably use a little work in the line art department, but other than that, I really do enjoy what I did with these two, and I'm very excited to take on the next two, which is Maddie in her pajamas and in her court attire, which it's a whole thing. I can do an OC lore dump at one point, but not right now. So the other thing that I'm noticing with my work is that I have two drastically different styles, which isn't a bad thing. It's never going to be a bad thing. But I have a style that leans heavy into the details, where the line art could just be on its own and that's it. And then I have a style that's more color oriented. So it focuses heavy on the colors and how the colors interact with each other. Kind of like how I work in Stars Burn Out. Here you could see me kind of making the limbs and torso and neck and face kind of cylindrical and rounded, kind of giving it that dimension underneath. And all of this is done with no layer modes. I just went straight in with color that I thought fit properly. At least when it comes to characters, I typically will find colors that fit that character and what I know of that character, and just kind of go with that. Maddie's skin is obviously gray, so I went with a very warm gray for her shading. Her lips are naturally black, so I went with like off color black, like not fully black but not fully gray, much closer to black for that. Her hair is teal. Her hair has always been teal. I had I think I still have it. A bottle of Dr. P.H. Martin India ink in this like tealy color. And when I drew Maddie for the very first time, that was the color that I used for her hair. And I was like, I'm never using a different color for her hair ever again. It was too perfect. Her eyes are green all the way through. And her features are more... oh, excuse me. Her features are more... I want to say Southeast or East Asian, depending. Depending on who you ask. And I feel as though I kind of did well with her character, especially considering that there's a large discussion in the art community right now about how, oh my gosh, about how trans people are drawn. And I feel like I did Maddie justice, even though she's my character and however I see her is how she is. I just don't want to, I don't want it to become a big debate about whether or not I drew a trans woman properly as a trans man. Anyway, here I'm working on the clothing. You see I put like a shadow right along the waistband. And here's where I think I kind of flubbed. I didn't do this section bit by bit. Like, I just went in, started shading, and I didn't think about how the colors were gonna work together, which is 100% my fault. I should have thought about it more. It ended up working out. I just feel like I could have done better if I thought it through first. And obviously, her tortoiseshell shoes. I have never drawn tortoiseshell shoes before, so having to look at references and figure out how to draw them, it was kind of hard. Anyway, before my phone decides to explode, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you stick around for the next video. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell so that you get notified of my next video. Bye.